Let's now show that this property, that a plus b equals b plus a, also works when one number is positive and the other is negative. Our example will be negative 3 plus 1 1/3. We want to show that this is the same thing as, that it is equivalent to 1 1/3 plus negative 3. How we will show this is by using two, not one, but two rulers. The reason for using two rulers is that this shows the negative part of the number line, while this shows the positive part of the number line. If we want to find out what negative 3 plus 1 1/3 is, we can start at the very beginning at 0. To get to negative 3, we will have to move 3 steps backwards. 1, 2, 3. Now we're at negative 3. Now we want to add 1 1/3. So we'll have 1 1/3 steps forward. 1 1/3. And we see where we land at, and it is negative 1 2/3. Now let's find out what 1 1/3 plus negative 3 is. First, at the very beginning, we start at 0. To get to 1 1/3, we will move 1 1/3 steps forward. 1 1/3. Then we will want to move 3 steps backward. 1, 2, 3. Now we look where we are, and we see that we are at negative 1 2/3. So you may notice that in both of these instances, we are just switching the order of these directions. We are not switching the directions themselves, we're just switching the order. Therefore, where we land at will not be changed. So, we would know that negative 3 plus 1 1/3 is equal to 1 1/3 plus negative 3. Let's have another example in which one number is positive and the other is negative. Our example shall be 4 1/2 plus negative 2 1/2. We want to show that this is equivalent to negative 2 1/2 plus 4 1/2. To show this, we have two rulers. Again, this is a negative sign and this is a positive sign. We'll start at the very beginning at 0. To get to 4 1/2, we will have to move 4 1/2 steps forward. Notice that we have to move forward because 4 1/2 is positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 1/2. To add negative 2 1/2, we have to move 2 1/2 steps backward. 1, 2, 2 1/2. And we land at 2. Let's now find the reverse. Let's now find negative 2 1/2 plus 4 1/2. To do this, we'll start again at the very beginning at 0. To go to negative 2 1/2, we'll move 2 1/2 steps back. 1, 2, 2 1/2. We move 2 1/2 steps back because negative 2 1/2 is negative. To add 4 1/2, we'll have to move 4 1/2 steps forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 1/2. So we can see where we landed at, and we landed at 2. So what you see that we did here is that we simply rearranged the order. We did not actually rearrange the directions themselves. We just rearranged the order. Thus, we can see that negative 2 1/2 plus 4 1/2 is equal to 4 1/2 plus negative 2 1/2, and that 4 1/2 plus negative 2 1/2 is equal to negative 2 1/2 plus 4 1/2.
The
next part of this series of videos is about what happens when you add two negative numbers together. Attached is a link that you can click.